Good evening. I'm Father Russ Carmichael, and this is Street Talk. And I have two great guests with me tonight. Okay, I have to say I've been very gracious to have with me Kathy Johnson, who's sitting across from me, who got me interviewed and got me to say why they call me Father. And I just did another show with her. Actually, today I'm doing this show right after the one I did with her, and I have Michael Maynard with me again, my return guest on Street Talk. Kathy, love to have you.
Thank you, Father.
Okay, and Michael, obviously, Michael, you're down here visiting with me, and took you to Kathy's show, and you did Kathy's show, right? And I just want to, of course, I know a lot about you. Okay, we met through Facebook and our conversations with another wonderful friend of ours who's out there watching me right now, MJL. Okay, Mr. Maynard, who does my show and is the book publisher for me with the Little Red Cell. So my audience pretty much knows the folks. Although, and Kathy, actually, you're a returning guest too, huh? We did the we did the show with Robert, your son.
Yes, we did.
Because you
came to New London.
Yeah, right. And he's an ABI injured individual, right, that you've dealt with. He did that great painting that I love.
Of the Indian.
Of the
yes,
Indian.
Yes. And it hangs in my living room.
It's in your living room, and it's your husband's favorite painting, so I'm not going to get it.
We'll make a print for you, Father.
Right. But we were talking with Michael today, you and we did your show, right? And,
yes.
And Michael, you told one audience who you are, but now you got to go back and tell my audience who you really are. The real Michael Maynard.
Well, first of all, Father Russ, it's nice being had. Again, I'm Michael Maynard from Stowe, Massachusetts. Russ and I have known each other now for a couple years. I work now as a writer and a journalist. You can read my writings, which are individual, at maynard119.wordpress.com. And I have a history. Previously, I ran a consulting firm, Masmouth Partners, for 30 years. And so I bring a variety of different interests and backgrounds into what I do.
Yeah, the thing is, and you can Google you. You can go on Google. For those who don't remember, we should have a sign for that. For those who don't remember your website, you can Google you and Michael Maynard and your blog
Sure. Or Michael A. Maynard.
Michael A.
And I had to use that because I thought Michael Maynard's a kind of a unique name. There are 20 different Michael Maynards in the public domain. You'd be surprised. Kathy Johnson.
Oh, well, that's all over the place, you know.
Yeah, as far as that.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And you have it's unique in what you're doing. Okay, we were talking a little bit about it on Kathy's show. And I want to make sure, Kathy, you besides being on my show now, you have your own show.
Well, yes.
My sister's show.
Yes. At Town Talk, and we have a lot of fun with that. And I met you, Father, and since I've met you, a lot of doors are opening up for me. You must have a connection with the man upstairs.
Only you get me to say that, right? right. And that's a whole show that you did on me.
On Father, yes.
Yeah.
So you two are the Chris Matthews and Rachel Maddow of New London.
I guess that's about it.
Yeah. Her show does 24. Those that could look it up on our channel 24. The tape shows that we do. I know my co-host, who's usually here, Dominic Cotton. I taped a show without you, Dominic. I'm sorry. Okay, he takes care of where we go up. We go up in 5 or 6 different areas now around the state.
And YouTube.
And
YouTube.
Yes.
And Facebook.
And Facebook and all that stuff. Dominic has done a monumental work for us in that area. I mean, there's only so much, and I can do myself, but he had the skills to do all that, and he's very effective. a great advocate. And,
Yes.
And great with our legislature. He deals with all my, individuals that may have trouble talking to Father because Father's far left socialistic views.
Yeah.
Well, plus you're a shy, retiring person,
Oh,
too.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have the good cop and the bad cop, like that. But he puts my shows up on YouTube also.
Oh, yes.
So you just have to Google us, and we're right there.
Yeah, you can find us. But we were. It was very interesting. We were talking about. We're doing a lot of religious talk lately, okay? And on Kathy's talks, we were talking about the Roman Catholic structure in Pope Francis, which is, which he's coming here. He's going to be here in September, I believe it's September, okay? I don't think he's bringing back cardinal law with him to be thrown into Walpole where I was. I'd like to see that, though.
Well, if he did, the seafood restaurants in Boston would greatly love him.
Structurally, we were talking about how he went in and what he's doing, and how do you view it, Michael? I mean,
Well, it's a tough situation that he finds himself in. He finds himself coming into a church in crisis and in transition. And the crisis is obviously what occurred over the past decades of the pedophilia scandal, which they've tried very hard to kind of get past, but it's still out there lingering. And I believe that it still hasn't been fully reconciled. But it's also a church in transition, that the traditional base of the church in Europe and the United States, the numbers are dwindling. And so the new direction of the church is in third world countries. So as we discussed, South America, where Pope Francis comes from, Asia, China, and the Asia Pacific. So he has the combination of having to go in and clean house, take care of previous issues, which he's done some, not all, but some, and trying to move in a new direction. Fortunately, he has the personality and the instinct. I think his instincts are wonderful. Mm-hmm. The things that going out into the community and doing some of the things that he did, like going and washing the feet of the convict, which Jesus would do.
Mm-hmm. Which is, centered to the gospel.
Or putting up the showers outside the Vatican so that street people can come take a shower.
Right.
Those are all little things, but they're magnified because it's changing the image from the previous regimes.
Yeah, well, it's getting back to the roots of our gospel. I mean, that's how I see it. But you're right. He's in the United States. He's got two huge issues here. Well, at least two, maybe three. Okay, the pedophile issue. If he doesn't fix that and deal with that here, reparations, repair. You can forget it. The other biggest issue, I think. Now, people keep saying it. I don't think it's the gay issue. I think it's women.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess from a woman's point of view, yes. Yes, I think a lot of the churches don't recognize that a woman can be a leader. The Eastern...
Leader? No leading, Kathy, no leading.
Well, shame on me.
Cooking, cleaning, being pregnant in the kitchen. Isn't that the role?
And you know something? If I didn't make another supper for the rest of my life, even just for my husband, it would be too soon. I'm not really Betty Crocker. Never was. And not that I don't admire the Betty Crockers of this world. Believe me, there's a place for everyone. But I want to go back to the days where there was the Oracle of Delphi. I mean, what happened to the high priestess?
Right.
What happened to the priestess? And I mean, I can't see that happening very soon in the Eastern or the Western Church.
Excuse me.
I mean, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. Of course, we've finally proven as women that we can break into politics and actually lead, and that. But that is a disappointment, and I don't know what you think or anybody else thinks, but I think it's going to be. I won't see it in my lifetime. A leader or a priest in. A priestess, would you
Priestess,
call?
yeah,
Yes,
priestess, yeah.
priestess in any of the in the Roman Catholic Church. I don't see that.
So if you had a female pope, she'd be a popess?
Well, there's
Or a
you know what we historically think about
A
that.
popette?
Many people do not understand that we may have had. Yeah, okay. History, many people they don't study the theology that you and I have studied, that we may have had a female pope.
And certainly we've had married popes.
As well, we've
with
had
families
definitely married with
and with
kids
kids
and
and-
huge amount of children.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly right, and we still do. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not popes, but we still have a lot of cardinals and stuff like that run a dual role that a lot of people don't know about.
Or
you
the
know.
priests that they brought in from other denominations,
Which would condone,
with condone.
which was a condone thing. Oh yeah, that's what somebody
A
said.
lot of it
How
was
could
led
you
by
be?
economics, right?
Yeah, well, it is. It is economical. I mean, that is really when you start talking about priests being married, you're talking about. Well, see, in the Orthodox Church, your church, they marry.
Oh yes, they as long they have to marry. I think before they take their final vow.
Before the final vow. Okay.
I think that's it. Yes, and then they can never become a bishop.
Oh, I did not know that.
They can't be a bishop.
Oh,
no,
okay.
they can't go any higher.
But,
But they
okay.
marry.
But they marry, so the child support is there, the children's support, and all those economical things that must be family things are tied. See, that's what, as soon as you start thinking this in the Roman Church, that's what you got to think about. You got to think about support of the wife, children, insurance, blah, blah, and the economics
Right,
of that.
right.
So that's always in the way. But
Well, sure. Or if you're a priest, you can get sent to a new parish at any time.
at any time, that's exactly right. Any place in the world.
Yes.
Right. You know, they wanted to
Yes.
see when
Yeah.
Father. That's what Father Lewis said. Yeah, you join, you become a Roman priest. Well, even as a monk, he wanted to send me to Italy. He was trying to let's get you out of the country, Russ. This is like, you know, I am a Benedictine. A lot of people. I'm a non-denominational priest, but I'm a Benedictine Oblate. I was going to be a monk, but didn't take my finals. You know.
So you've got this kind of interesting situation where you've got a lot of the old policies still embedded inside the church. You still got a lot of the
Yes.
old attitudes.
Right.
You can't sweep them all out, or else you would have no functioning church if you got rid of everybody,
Right.
or the ones who are obstructionist. But on the other hand, you've got the realities of the 21st century. And the 21st century is certainly that the world is becoming less white mainstream, and it's becoming more Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, so on.
Interracial.
Interracial.
Yeah,
Yes.
interracial. Yeah. Well, structurally, he looks like obviously he's moving the church to South America, Africa, China, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't changed any policies. No policies have been changed. It's nice to say, "Oh, I welcome you in my church, and you're gay and everything else like that." But that thing that says I ain't going to heaven. What about? Is that changed yet?
Oh, but what about the gay priests? You can't say there's not gay priests. There certainly are.
Of course, we know there are.
We
right?
know there
right,
are.
Right. We know there
Sure
are.
there
Sure.
are.
Yeah, exactly right. But he ain't
But you
going to
can't
heaven.
But you can't. Well, but on the other hand,
Right.
he can administer,
Yeah,
and he can provide the sacraments.
well,
As long as
that's
he doesn't
the,
act on his sexuality.
well, see that's it.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
So what?
So what?
Yeah, I don't, so I mean, but
Yeah,
that's what they said. You
well,
know,
this
that's what.
this is a whole difficulty that's going on and that they're talking about, and how do they deal with that kind of situation?
well, if you think about it, they kind of box themselves in.
Yeah,
You're supposed
right.
to be a man. You're supposed to be a man of the people, but on the other hand, you're a man of the people, but not like the people. And so you're not. You're supposed to be in the community, but not one with the community.
Yeah, very.
It's-
And where did that come from? I don't remember any scripture that says that.
Remember any of
Where
that.
did they pull this, that it's
Hey,
in the Bible or
you
something?
know,
Something from the Old Testament, maybe?
When I got my annulment when I was going to do the Roman thing, I got my annulment from my first marriage. Okay, so the annulment from my first marriage says I've never been married. I was married at 16. So as far as the Roman Church is concerned, all the other marriages that I had were not in the Roman tradition. They don't count, so they don't care. Okay,
Right.
so there was a point when I was about 55. I had to make a decision if I wanted to do this, and of course my mentor said, You're an activist. You're this here. You need to. You don't need this." Of course, he probably knew that I was going to probably fool around some more and whatever else. Maybe
Right.
had number 6 and
Yeah,
someplace or whatever, right?
Well,
But I really don't think, from my perspective, I don't think you're able to really understand and be priestly or pastoring until you've lived a life of experience. How's that? That a nice way to say that?
That's a good way of saying
To
it.
get
Yes.
myself,
Out of the mess you're in.
But the question is, what exactly is being a priest?
yeah, exactly right. What is
Okay,
that?
is it just passing on the words of the Bible and your interpretation of it, or is it being out in the community? And if it's being out in the community, you don't need to be a male to be out in the community and doing good things.
No,
You're expecting the
Yes.
nuns to do that,
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
that's right. That's right.
and so there is.
Well, that's your job, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that their job?
Well,
The nuns and
we-
the ladies, we're not supposed to cook, right?
No.
No,
Let's not bring.
no.
Let's
Jesus
not bring
wasn't cooking. I could even use scripture about
Yes, he
that.
did. Yes, he was.
When did he?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You got me there. I was thinking of the other.
Yeah,
I was thinking of him sitting down, having Mary and his sister deal with the meals. You're thinking of another time.
Of course
That's right.
they
If you
did
know,
walk-
if you know what Jesus was cooking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What was
right.
it? Was it
Yeah.
Mary or Martha and
Martha, Mary.
That's it.
Mary, who was whitewashing his feet with the expensive oil?
With the oil and
Yeah.
him while she was in the kitchen cooking. I love that one.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, priest, my definition of being priestly is actually traditionally and as best you can follow what Jesus did. That's what your job is.
Right.
That's what your job. That's what the apostles and the disciples were being trained to do. And one of them happened to be a lady.
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the
Mary
key.
Magdalene, yeah.
Yeah. So he was training them all. You know, I
Sure.
mean, they get me and say, what do you mean there's no leaders in the church? Paul himself built the church with ladies. The ladies built the church.
Well, the women were the first
They were
people
the-
that said he was resurrected.
There you go.
The women.
That's right.
That's
So why we have this political problem is beyond me. See, I got
I don't get it myself.
I don't
I
get
really
it.
don't.
I don't.
Oh, I do.
You
Go
do.
ahead.
Yes, I do. Because because most organizations, particularly modern organizations, are built around a male hierarchy, and decisions are made by the male hierarchy. This is slowly changing,
Yes.
but not as fast as everyone would like to think it is. But so supposedly the wisdom of the world is built around the white male hierarchy to decide what should be going on elsewhere. Well, we know that's not particularly worked so well.
No.
And we have a classic example coming up in the next 18 months. The first potential woman president. There is no other person who's had the experience, overall experience and background that Hillary Clinton had. Now, with that, she does have some baggage. She has people who are very passionate about her becoming president. Some for policy reasons, some for the fact that it's time to have a female president.
Yes.
Okay, but there are others who say, well, it's Hillary Clinton, and she's not Elizabeth Warren. She's
Yes.
not liberal enough. She's not this. She's not that. And so there's going to be, there is this big issue around the fact that it's underlying, but it's the fact that given all that's going on in the world, do you want to have a woman who is leading the free world? Now, my view, perfect. And you couldn't get anybody better, more experienced, and reasoned than Hillary Clinton. On the other hand, is she an effective communicator? Does she have the ability to lead and get people to follow her? That's what we're going to find out.
Well, we will know that, and that in itself is an art. I mean, what I admire about Hillary Clinton is, and I've thought about this and thought about this. There are so many people that say, we don't mind a woman, but not that woman. Well, there's a few things here. I admire her. First of all, she's a brilliant woman with a lot of experience. And of course she has baggage. You can't be a political figure for the number of years that she has been a political figure without baggage. I would remind some of my Republican and unaffiliated friends that Hillary started out supporting Barry Goldwater, who was probably the most conservative Republican you could imagine in his time. You grow and you change through the years. If I have to pick a woman right now to be President of the United States, for me it would be Hillary, because she's capable, she has the knowledge, she has the experience, and she knows the way of politics in Washington and the way of the world. Now, having said that, we go to what you just mentioned. Can she present herself as a leader? Can she communicate with herself? I'm going to say I think she can when she starts to not worry about every single thing she says and does. I think she's over the fact that she wears pantsuits. I think she's over the fact that people talk about what her legs look like, what this is, what that is. Once you can get that kind of skin and you can go forward and just be yourself, that's what you do. And in her situation, with the baggage, comes with the notoriety and the number one person that they're all looking at. She's taking flack. She's the target. When you look at her that way, now she has to have a thick skin. She has to get through it, and she has to learn how to do that. But how does she do it as a woman? Here's the problem with being a woman in politics. How do you stay feminine but firm? How do you get the attention of men and women but still be gentle? How do you dress well but look professional? Everything like that is against you. Why the woman can't even, Maynard can cry in public and it gets by. She sheds a tear in public and she's a weak woman. So this is the problem. And having been the first selectman in a small town politics, in a town that's made up of unaffiliated voters and Republicans, and basically a moderate to conservative town, the only three women that have ever been elected to office since the 1700s when the town was founded were three Democrat women. And it started in the 90s with Kate Cosgrove, then 2001, Kathy Johnson, and most recently, 4 or 5 years ago, I can't think of the date, but Mary Ann Drayton Rogers. All three of us Democrat women in a town of a lot of conservatives and Republicans. So I think that it says a lot for women, and I think that Hillary can do the same job. I had to brag about myself a little bit, and my other Democrat women. I can't help it.
The number one, because you can pull it off. You can do all those things. You're able for whether it's lack of fear or anything else, you get out there and you do all those things. You dress the part, you do the part. You can cry in public, rightfully so, and okay, and pull it off. Okay, you're able to do that. Some people can do that. Some people can't.
But-
But we have to teach her how to get outside of herself.
How do you teach, excuse me, but how do you teach any politician how to get outside of
Yeah,
themselves?
well,
You know, it's a fickle public.
Yeah.
If you aren't acting strong and talking about that, either way, you can't win that. You can't win that.
Anybody who knows you, though, see, that's the thing. How does she? The difference is people know you and understand you and can define all those things with you because you're local and stuff like that. That's probably the one big problem with Hillary is her ability to communicate all those things.
Well, that's it.
She's always been now Secretary of State. She's loved and known. She's loved
throughout
all
the
over the
world.
world.
Yeah.
Okay, people don't know the power that her image has all over the world. Okay, we don't necessarily see her in the same light the rest of the world does. She was able to do that. Her problem is right here at home, how she communicates that she is that personal person. And
Well,
I was going to
because
let Michael say.
I know, but let me say one
Go
last
ahead.
thing.
No,
One
no,
last
no,
thing.
no,
No, go ahead.
Because
No, go ahead. Go.
she has been too long in that room that you start forgetting what it's like
bubble.
on the outside.
Yeah, right.
And the other last thing I'll say for myself is this. You see, I don't worry about winning and losing an election on an issue. The issue's the issue, and what's right for the citizens in the town is what's right for the citizens, and I can't stand this Machiavellian crap. And having said that, now follow that.
Okay, this is a paid commercial for the Kathy Johnson for
Yes, it
President Committee.
Hey, my constituents are watching,
Right,
or my
right.
hopefully my constituents.
Well, the fact that we're actually, people are actually discussing the fact that Hillary Clinton wears pantsuits.
Yeah.
Why? Or
Yeah.
or the fact that Sarah Palin, who only served half of a term as governor of Alaska, good, bad, or indifferent, part of the reason she was chosen was that female, good-looking, and would attract a certain segment of the voters,
public.
voting public,
sure.
as far as it goes.
Exactly, right.
So it's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, you want the intelligence, you want the experience, you want the capacity to view the world in a different manner, perhaps a more people-oriented manner as opposed to a more authoritarian manner. But on the other hand, you don't want it to be a woman. Why?
Yeah, there's the $64,000 question. Why? I'm too close to being, I'm a female and I can't see it. I don't know why. Can you see it as a journalist?
Oh, sure. As far as that goes, because it upsets the traditional order. Things do not happen quickly. Things happen incrementally. The fact that Barack Obama was elected president and a lot of the difficulties that he's experienced is the fact that he came in and he changed the established order. And there's a degree of inertia in every organization. There's a degree of inertia in almost everything. And change comes incrementally, except in those rare instances when things are so dramatic, events occur that change happens radically. But it takes something big.
Well, I'm, of course, I'm Hillary fan. She's a Wellesley girl.
Okay, yes.
And of course I know their history right from the beginning and the Clinton history and all that.